Hello, everyone, and welcome to EduMatch. Follow along with us at bit.ly/tweettalk71, as well as on Twitter with the hashtag EduMatch. Speaking of EduMatch, did you know that you could be the featured person of the day? Just check out our website at edumatch.org, and we will connect you with educators all around the world along areas of your interest. All right, so tonight we are going to be talking mentorship, a great topic. Wanted to shout out our moderator for tonight, Justin Schleider. We're going to actually come to him last, but we are going to go down the line and introduce ourselves. So we go from left to right. So we'll start things off first with Art.
How did I become the far left of this? So I'm Art LaFlamme. I'm an instructor at Angelo State University out of Texas, although I live in Portland, Oregon. I'm an Army vet, which I did for a whole bunch of years, which is where I got my background in mentoring and coaching.
Sweet. Welcome, Art. Very happy to have you here. All right, so we're going to skip over Justin for the time being, and we're going to go next to Nicole.
Hey, everybody. My name is Nicole. I have been an educator for 15 years in Texas. The last 6-7 years, I have been a mentor and coach at the campus level. This year, I am a district-wide ed tech coach, and I don't think I would be where I am without great mentors and great coaches. It's very important, especially in the field that we're in, to have somebody to help you lead the way.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome back, Nicole. And we are also welcoming back Leslie.
Hi, my name is Leslie Fagan. I am an instructional technology coach in Griffin, Georgia. I work with the secondary schools in my district, and I'm currently working on my instructional coaching endorsement through a local educational association. I'm excited to be here with y'all this evening.
We are excited to have you back, and we are also excited to have back with us Rochelle.
Sorry, I think maybe now. All right. I teach Spanish and STEAM in Pittsburgh. I clearly am having problems with my microphone, so I'm going to keep it short and move on to the next person. Happy to be here with you all tonight.
All right, and we are very happy to learn with you tonight. So now we're going to kick it back to Justin. So if you could please introduce yourself and then take it away.
Hello, my name is Justin Schleider. I'm a physical education, health, and technology integrationist. But who I am is the least important person on the panel today, because we have a fantastic crew who's going to talk about mentorship. I'm very excited about today. So first, we are going to kick it over to Nicole. And Nicole, can you tell us what, in your opinion, is the difference between coaching and being a mentor?
Well, I think the two are very similar in that they help someone kind of achieve their goals. But I kind of see the coach as the guide, kind of the mentor being a friend, person to kind of bounce ideas off of, but the coach actually being there to give you like actionable steps, things to help you achieve those goals.
Beauteous. Let's kick it over to Leslie. And Leslie, just so you know, your mic cracks a little bit. I think you and Rochelle go to the same mic school over there. So you might want to take a look. Yeah, that's a little big. Anyway, so Leslie, also known as the Faginator. Can you tell us what, in your opinion, is the difference between coaching and mentoring?
Sorry about the microphone issues. I'm not at home today. But the difference between coaching and mentoring, the mentor, in my opinion, is more a person who, shows a new teacher how to do things at the school. They answer questions, but the coach is more about that one-on-one, working with the instructional practices and, doing some modeling and co-teaching and stuff like that with the teacher. And they do more listening, in my opinion, than the mentor does. The mentor is, oh, this is how we do things. And the coach is, how do you want to get there and how can I help you get there?
Beauteous. All right, let's bring it to Rochelle, and we will save art for last. So, Rochelle, what, in your opinion, is the difference between coaching and?
All right. Well, my microphone is working, I think, and I agree with both what Nicole and Leslie said. I see a lot of similarities, but then there are some differences, and I think that oftentimes when I think of a coach, I think of somebody that's more of, and I'm thinking like sports or whatever type of a coach, you know, it's more of a task or some kind of a skill they're working on, whereas, and this might be an outdated definition too, whereas a mentor is somebody who has a deep, or can develop a deeper connection, or is there in place and doesn't just focus on one task or skill, but is there to be accessible for whomever it is that they are working with at any time. And part of that definition I come up with comes from my own experience in my school. Over the past couple of years, we've instituted a mentoring program with students, and I find that a lot of the times I'm not just working with my own students, and it's not on one thing, it's many students and on different levels. So
Fantastic. And Art, I am very anxious to hear what you have to say about this. We've had numerous conversations about mentoring. Can you tell us your views on the difference between coaching and mentoring?
Well, I mean, I do come from a different background, right? I come out of the military. So for me, and even in applying this to specifically education in the teaching side of things, the coaching side of things is about transferring skills. So when you look at how, like, we work with new teachers and those that we assign to junior teachers, you know, we call them mentors, but for me, that really is about coaching. That's about transferring skills to them. You know, making sure they know how to do lesson plans, make sure they know where the bathroom is, make sure they don't get lost, making sure they don't drown. That's exactly the same type of thing that, you know, a baseball coach does with 8-year-olds to transfer a skill to them. Because once you do that, then they know how to do it. That's coaching. And whether you talk about teacher to teacher or teacher to student, admin to teacher who wants to be a future admin, that's coaching. And mentoring, for me, mentoring really gets back to after something that, I mean, this comes right out of military culture. It's got two pieces to it. It's got to be voluntary and it's got to be mutual. And so, you know, finding those people that have the skill sets, the information, the capability, the capacity to plug a hole that's in your life, that have something that will help you, and they're agreeable to it, that leads to some kind of voluntary and mutual relationship between the two of you for some period of time until it no longer meets that criteria. It's no longer voluntary, it's no longer mutual, and then it moves on to something else. It could become friendship, it could just separate over time and distance. You guys could be in the same building, you could be in the same district, you could be on the other side of the world, but that for me is very much what mentoring is about.
So then, are you saying all those programs that force a mentor on someone either don't work, or you're just saying that those are coaching and not mentoring?
So what I'm saying is, when you get a new teacher in and your principal's trying to do the right thing by assigning somebody like with a clipboard and a checklist of things, very often that is about coaching. That is about making sure that they have a set list of skills. That's no different than, you know, a coach telling a junior coach, we have a new player on the team, make sure he knows how to hit the ball, knows how to catch the ball, make sure he knows how to hit a curve ball, make sure he knows how to slide into second base. That's coaching. That's not about mentoring. Mentoring is about, you know, I'm at like 5 years of my career and I'm starting to think about how to go back to school. And I have a decision that I'm going to have to make. And I need to find people who are somewhere down that road also, And I need to talk to people about that. It has nothing to do with them making the decision for me, but I need to talk about it. And in talking about it, I still have to make that decision myself. That's mentoring. Nobody's going to do that for me.
Wonderful. Nicole, what are your thoughts on that, on the so-called forced mentorship versus coaching role, where you know you're due to the district and then they assign you somebody who you may or may not know?
As Art was talking, I just kind of think there's a lot of overlap when it comes to mentoring and coaching. I feel as if when you're assigned a new teacher, whether you're new to the district, new to the building, new to education, period, I do believe that it is, our job to, help them see these are the things that can help you move from good to great. But I believe the mentor aspect, it comes in when I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is you need to work on. You tell me what you want to work on, and you tell me, how do you want to get there? And I'm kind of going to be a guide on the side. Now, as a coach, sometimes you do have to kind of step in, get right beside them, maybe teach with them, teach for them. It's kind of, it's a delicate kind of weaving in and out of that role as coach and mentor.
Nice. Leslie, what do you have to add to the conversation?
Hey, Justin.
Oh, yes, Art. What's up?
So one of the beauties I love that has emerged in our profession is that we have added coaches into our field. And there's one aspect that goes with that, right? In adding coaches, they also do something that is mentoring in nature. When you're working with other teachers, you can be doing things that is coaching, you're transferring skills to them, and you can do things that are mentoring like, but you may not necessarily have those twofold tickets that goes with it. During the course of the time you're working with it, you can put yourself out there and say, hey, look, I'm offering, and I'll do everything I can for you. But at the end of it, it's still up to that other person to say, you know what, I actually want to open up and work with you on it. And having coaches assigned to a district, a school, or whatever, they're in that great position to do things that have both aspects to it. It's a fantastic addition into our field.
Yeah, you make some valid points there. Leslie, what do you think about this?
I think that it works better when the relationship is a mutual voluntary one. When I first started teaching, I was assigned a mentor, and it was great in that both of us had the same kind of personality. But when I worked at my last school, a lot of new teachers, new to teaching, new to the district, were assigned mentors, and the mentors were in it strictly for the money. And that doesn't work because it's like they're just checking things off and they're really not making sure that the teacher is okay. If both of them want to be in it and they're in it for the right reason, it's a great thing. But don't force people into a relationship just because somebody at the district office says, oh, this is a great idea, because it's not always a great idea.
Yeah, that's huge. The money part is huge. I mean, the fact that, A, you're forced to pay, and then if somebody's doing something for monetary gain, then, yeah, you would imagine it's not a true mentoring role. Rochelle, what do you have to add to this?
Sorry, I was making sure the volume was there. Yeah, I'm just following around with what everybody has been saying. And I know that when I first started teaching, I was assigned a mentor, and it can become a little bit awkward, especially if you don't know people or for a number of reasons. And things have changed over the years, and I don't necessarily, I'm bad at picking one way versus the other, but I think that mentoring in itself serves such a valuable purpose. It just depends on what that purpose is. And in my current use of it with, right now they're high school seniors. And so my role is in helping to prepare them, get them ready for their final year of school before they transition onto whatever that next phase is. And I have met with some opposition with the students because, the flip side is, what's their take on it? How do they feel about having this person assigned to them to work with? And that's another part of a conversation, I guess, for another day too, possibly. But I do enjoy it. I enjoy the experience, and I know there are difficulties in it sometimes, especially like if it is forced and it's not made by choice. But I try to be the optimist and think that it's set in place, or I guess what's the word? Inspired, or I'm faltering for words here, but for a good reason, I think, overall.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think it's set up for a good reason. And, you know, we could talk about this for hours about naturally occurring mentorships versus, you know, kind of the forced. And Art alluded earlier to the one online, becoming a digital presence. Leslie, have you found a mentor online digitally, and how did you go about doing that? Leslie, I think you're still muted on here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my mentors would be everybody in EduMatch. I get way more from y'all than I do, and I love my district because it's where I went to school, and I can't really see myself anywhere else. But I get an awful lot from you because I know that if I come to anybody, I can get an answer. We can work things out. You all have fantastic ideas, and we push each other, which is what I need at this point in my career. This is my third career, and it's the one that I like best. But if I don't get that ongoing support, I'm going to find something else to do, and that's not what I want to do because I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, you all are my mentors, and I appreciate you.
Nice. We you as well. So, what are your thoughts on mentor or online?
What are my thoughts on online mentoring?
Correct. Like finding mentors online, connecting with people for your PLN.
I'm gonna say exactly what Leslie has said. I'm looking at the panel, and I'm just now meeting Art, but I'm sure I'll reach out to him in the near future since we're now Edu friends. Everyone on this panel, I've reached out to them for something at some point or another. Asked them a question, asked them to kind of give me more information about something they were doing that I was thinking about doing. I just think, you know, the internet has made it so easy that we don't have to wait on mentors, that it's easy to go out and find people who are doing things that interest you. I was telling Sarah on Boxer earlier today that before I actually found all of you amazing people on Twitter and EduMatch and Boxer and all of that, you know, sometimes you can feel like the Lone Ranger. You know, you want to do things, but sometimes your mentor is disconnected and your mentor is not doing some of the things or doesn't have an understanding of some of the things that you want to do. So I will say that a lot of the things that I'm doing now, a lot of the things that, you know, I've really learned about in the last, you know, year or so have been from mentors that I have found online.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to diminish anyone on the panel, but I know Art spent a lot of time researching mentorship, reading about it, and the military has a very good mentorship plan. And I know Sarah is anxious to jump in. Sarah, tell us about mentorship.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually going to jump in to welcome Ari, who has joined us on panel. So I just wanted Ari to please introduce yourself.
Sorry, Santa Claus just came by on a fire truck. This is amazing. Let's see if I can show you. I don't need to take this over. But look, it's Santa. I'll tell you, the random Santa Claus sighting.
That's too funny. But Ari, we're not getting audio from you. So let me see if you could just give us a quick mic check. All right, I'm gonna kick it back over to Justin for now, but hopefully we can get Ari in with her audio.
All right, no worries. We'll hit her up another time. All right, so last thoughts. We'll start with Art and work our way down. Anything, and I know mentorship, we could go on for hours and hours and hours with this. Is there anything that anyone can know or if you want to give a resource of what people should know. So we'll start with Art, then go with Nicole, Leslie, and then Rochelle. And Art just walked away. Oh, he's getting the
Oh, no.
that good?
So this is one I always tell people about. It's a book, The Army Officer's Guide to Mentoring. Can you guys see that one? Right? The author is a guy named Raymond Kimball, friend of mine from the Army. He's up at West Point. There isn't a whole lot that's really written on the subject. Ray and I were in the Army together, and he did his PhD and his dissertation focusing on the subject of mentoring. It's one of the few current, modern, like really good looks at it, and he looks at the difference between mentoring and coaching. And he talks about it quite a bit. He looks at it obviously from an Army perspective, but it's pretty solid. And it carries over very well into education. Really good resource.
Very nice. And I would say if you want to learn more, definitely hit Art up and his friend Brian Costello, and they will sit around and talk mentoring for hours and hours. So Nicole, what do you have? Last thoughts?
My last thoughts are that if anyone is looking at implementing a mentor or coaching program, I think the things that we've talked about, the biggest obstacle I think in teacher growth is that the mentor has not been adequately trained. They don't really know how to help people move. Getting into a good book, connecting with EduMatch, asking anyone on the panel ideas and suggestions for mentoring, that would be the first step, I would say.
Very nice words of advice. Leslie, also known as the Vegator.
I'm actually working on getting somebody to draw an image so that I can use that for part of my brand, but that's, not the point of this conversation tonight. I'm going to echo what others have said, and I'm doing my coaching endorsement now, but I did read the book, The Art of Coaching, in a book study for, I don't know, it might have been EdTech coaches, somebody got a lot of good information out of that. But if you're looking for a mentor and there's somebody that you really admire, ask them. People are flattered when you ask them to help you in your professional development. So just reach out to whomever you want to and get the relationship started and learn from each other and be willing to listen to other people. That's a big thing when you're wanting to be mentored or when you're acting in that capacity. Those are words of advice from the Faginator. I really like the sound of that. Sorry, y'all.
Nice. And yes, being open, especially when your mentor says some things that you might not like, because that's obviously a part of being a mentor, not just being a yes person. Rochelle, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I'm going to follow up with everybody else has said too. That you mentioned the book, The Art of Coaching was one book, and it seems like, and I don't know if it's more because I'm kind of looking for things these days, but I notice on a lot of the blog posts and websites and things that I tend to try and stay active with, you can find a lot of articles that deal with it. But of course, relying on things like social media and being in groups like this Boxer group that we have, or with EduMatch and any other ones out there, the nice thing about it is that if you do have questions about it, whether you're in a current program or you're looking to start one or you're somewhere along the way, you can ask the question and you can get answers from anybody at any time. That's one of the things that really makes this so great. And referring back to, and I can't remember who said it now, it might have been Leslie, I'm not sure, that relying on people in our PLN. I learned so much from all of you, and the support that has been provided throughout and continues is amazing. And I think that just being in this situation with these people, it's something that whether or not we are mentoring or we're coaches or anything, we learn some of the skills that are applicable into those areas just by the nature, I think, of being in groups like this. Whether or not we call ourselves that, I think we've become that to an extent.
Great words of wisdom. And I will let Sarah wrap it up. But again, thank you for letting me moderate, Sarah, and the panel. And I told you I would be the least important person here because I did not add much at all. But again, thank you very much to Sarah and EduMatch.
Well, thank you, Justin. And Ari, can we get a mic check on you? Let me see. Looks like you're muted right now.
All right, what about now?
There we go. Perfect. So if you could please introduce yourself and just your thoughts on mentorship, anything that you'd like to share with us.
Yeah, so sorry I'm late. I had some car trouble getting home, but I'm glad I'm able to make it in for a little bit. And I think that one of the things about mentorship is so often we think of our BITSA providers, our tech coaches, but really anyone can be a mentor on any topic to anyone, whether it's a first-year teacher mentoring a seasoned teacher in their department about a new tech thing, or a seasoned teacher in English and teacher in science about writing methods. So I think it's really important to recognize that and to help facilitate that in whatever ways we can.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your thoughts on the topic. Definitely wanted to thank the entire panel for all of your fantastic nuggets of information. Thank you to Justin. He disappeared on us, but hopefully he'll be back to say goodbye. But if not, then we definitely want to thank Justin for his moderating tonight. Also, as if you all were around last week, then you heard the big announcement that the EduMatch Snapshot in Education is coming out very, very soon. We now have a date, so look for it to drop on December 29th around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we would also cordially like to invite you to our launch party that will be taking place on Zoom. So in a couple seconds, I'm just going to drop the graphic on Twitter where you can RSVP. Space is limited, so definitely join us if you can. It'll be December 30th from 1 p.m. to approximately 3 p.m. And you'll get to meet and ask questions to some of the authors that participated in the project, and some of which are on panel with us tonight. So shout out to you all. Yay. All right. So the Twitter chat will be available within the next few minutes online, and the audio to this will be available on iTunes within the coming weeks. So next week we are off because guess what? It is Christmas. The following week we are off because guess what? That's New Year's. However, the following Sunday, so yeah, that's 3 weeks from now. So 3 weeks from now, on the 8th of January, then we are going to be talking educational research. It's going to be at a different time because guess what? We have an international guest, so we don't want to keep him up at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we are moving it back to noon Eastern Standard Time on the 8th of January. So if you're interested in that, then just sign up at tinyurl.com/edumatch, sign up. Also wanted to give a huge shout out to EdCamp Boxer. If you're looking for some PD in your PJs, then check it out at the end of the month, the 27th through the 29th. You can sign up right now. The session board is open right now, edcampboxer.com. Definitely looking forward to seeing y'all there. Also, one more shout out to Randall Sampson, who is he is working with Sioux Falls University, and we're doing all this work. We are connecting and learning and growing together. So if you're in need of graduate credits, then you might as well use all of this great work that you're doing and just get your credits on. So contact him at Randall Sampson on Twitter. So if you want to subscribe to this podcast, check out bit.ly/EduMatch podcast. So everyone, have a fantastic week.